G'day ladies and gentlemen, welcome back as we check out some more sick StarCraft action from IEM Shenzhen. Now, introducing our players quickly on the top of the left hand side as our red Protoss player, it's going to be Zest. In the southern location as our blue Terran, you know him and love him, it's Liquid Taeja. Now, obviously it's going to be a Protoss versus Terran game on this map. Now I know we have cast quite a few Taeja and Zest games lately, but they've just been playing such an amazing StarCraft 2 that when I saw this replay I had to cast it. It is of course from IEM Shenzhen, which took place a little while ago, but it is a sweet Protoss versus Terran game, so I thought I would cast it for all of you today. So big shout out to anyone joining us for the first time on the channel. I hope you enjoy your stay here. For all our veterans, I hope you've been having a great weekend. Pretty rainy here in Australia this weekend as storms, not swarms, sorry, you can tell my mind's a little bit fixed on StarCraft, as storms sweep up the coast, but that doesn't bother us indoors. We have some sweet StarCraft to keep us busy. Hope you guys have been playing a lot lately. I have been getting back into the swing of things. Was a bit distracted recently, been playing a lot of Hearthstone and Heroes of the Swarm, but hitting the ladder again this week and playing some clan games has been pretty good. So hope you guys are likewise enjoying your time. And see a fairly standard opening here from Zest. Looks like he will go for a gateway expand, certainly his favourite style of opening. Going to unfortunately be scouting out the wrong direction as his probe heads over to the right hand side of the map. So looks like Taeja will be going for his usual style of Reaper opening, either a Reaper off this refinery or a very quick factory. We will see which of those two approaches he tends to go to. Now Taeja is a big fan of skipping sort of early Terran shenanigans, likes to get up to a nice safe point where he hits medevacs and then go to town on his opponent. So I imagine we'll see a very passive sort of defensive opening from Taeja. It's his usual bread and butter. Occasionally moves out with a few Marines and a Marauder, but most of the time likes to wait till he's got a decent force amassed, likes to play it safe with his opening. Going to be scouting out with his SCV here. He'll go up and see in fact there are a few pylons down. Cybernetics core is on its way for Zest, but overall not anything hugely remarkable. Of course, Zest employing a little bit of clever SimCity here, going to create a space behind the Nexus there. It's a little bit harder to scout, can throw down tech in there later on to force a scan, but Taeja going to stick around with this SCV just for a little while longer. If you're wondering why exactly it is that he's doing that, he would know from having clicked on the guys that Zest is in fact up to 150 gas, and at some point Zest is going to have to decide what sort of tech to throw down. In this case, Zest instead going for the mothership core, going to get that out that little bit quicker and ensure that Taeja doesn't see his tech as soon as it's dropped. Most Protoss players, they'll get up to 150 and then they've got a wide variety of choices. Will I throw down the mothership core? Will I drop my robo? Will I go for a quick Stargate? Those are sorts of things that Taeja was trying to suss out as Zest made the decision. Engineering bay going down the back. Taeja's unsure of exactly what will go in there. He didn't see the mothership core come out, so he's not sure if that's in fact how the gas was being spent. Always a chance of something like a proxy Stargate once that gas has been mined. So Taeja going to play a little bit safe, not a bad idea at all. His command center going down on the low ground. Likewise, Zest's almost finished his own Nexus there at his natural expansion. So rather passive start to this game. We can see Taeja is a little bit concerned about things like oracles, has a few Marines out, and second barracks now on the way with the tech lab. So going to be starting that stim pack nice and early, as he is fairly standard for Taeja. Likes to grab that as quickly as possible. Would be very surprised to see him grab anything other than Stimpack off that first tech lab. Indeed, there it goes. Has just started. Stalker on the way now for Zest, as well as a robotics facility. So like this choice out of Zest. I don't see Zest play Stargate nearly as much as we see him play Robo. He's a big fan of the Colossi play. Not bad with Templar tech as well, but does really sort of favour the Colossi play, so we'll see how that goes. Maybe producing a few observers early on, so very much in Pig Baby's vein. We saw Pig Baby drop a lot of observers against Taeja in the last season of WSS to great effect actually. They did wonderful things for him as he could actually see Taeja coming a long way away, so that network of observers very useful. We see only a few stalkers out on the map, whereas Taeja just continuing to produce units very consistently out of these two barracks. There's a massive amount of Marines on the field, as you can see, already up to 13 Marines to 3 Stalkers. Still not quite enough to threaten Zest, as Zest's Mothership Core and few Stalkers can easily whittle those numbers down. Observer's going to wing its way out across the field, and we actually have a probe scout out, likely to place a few proxy pylons. We can see it's working its way around the map here, and going to be making its way down to establish some proxy pylons. Not a bad location up here. You can warp down on the low ground, yet keep it up and away out of sight. So not a bad travel time to your opponent's base. Always great for a counter attack. So Protoss players, take note of Zest. Very clever play. Looks like Taeja actually going to move out for quite an early push. Timed up with the conclusion of Stimpack here as he moves out. Still no combat shields. Naturally, Stimpack is on the way. +1 attack also has been completed. So nice little timing here as Taeja moves out. A little bit more aggressive than most Protoss would expect. Most Protoss expect their first Terran attacks to come in around the 10 or 11 minute mark, particularly if it's this sort of bio push. It will normally come with some medevacs, but there's a little bit aggressive out of Taeja, so I like his variation here, throwing down Stimpack and +1 nice and quickly. These Marines are going to find the Stalkers on the low ground, but a Colossi already on the field here, and the Colossi is just going to completely deny us. Colossus taking a lot of damage here. Backham is going to manage to survive there on 5 health. Taeja getting just a little bit baited there, hoping for the kill, only managing to take out a single Stalker. You can see 175 resources lost to 675, so that going entirely Zest's way. And with these gateways just completed, you can actually throw down a few units and counterattack quite quickly should he be so inclined. The observer here going to spot these other forces from Taeja moving out, but I would argue that Taeja possibly not in a position here to attack. A few units here can actually miss the pylon on the high ground, but Zest will see these units moving out as he himself moves out with the second Colossus along the field. Second Colossi, almost more Colossi than he has ground units at this point. Warps in a few more Zealots and sentries, but a little bit concerned, as if Taeja moves out with these forces, he'll have very little at home to stop 2 Colossi with Thermal Lance, and that's a very tight build of Zest. You can see those Thermal Lance finishing up at the 10-minute mark, so these Colossi doing massive damage to the bunker. SCV's not actually pulled off in time to save that bunker. Lots of barracks being established here, but this powerful Protoss force just barreling straight up the ramp. A few more reinforcements behind, but actually going to be sandwiched by this Terran force. Those medevacs are pulled back. We can see Taeja pulling back away from this assaulting army, but going to be very difficult to pull these units out from behind the mineral line in any sort of order. Zealot's going to tank a lot of damage. Nice force field on the ramp. We see SCVs actually getting base to base with that contact. With that Colossus, trying to work it down. Colossi almost falling. Marauder on the high ground is going to take care of the last of that. Lots of units falling for both players. Will Taeja be able to hold this? There's only a few Stalkers left. Another Colossi arrives here on the low ground. Another warp into Stalkers is very tight for both players here as these Marauders attempt to focus down the Colossi. Colossi does survive against the Marauders, but these 2 Vikings will be able to take it down. Taeja's going to need these Vikings in order to stop the Stalkers. There's almost no units left on the ground. Unfortunately, the Mothership Core will get sniped by the Vikings, and the last bits and pieces of this Bioforce will hold off. So what an incredible hold from both our players thus far. We see Zest managing to hold off Taeja's early aggression, whereas Taeja holding on there by the skin of his teeth. If we look at workers lost, 25 workers killed by Zest at this point, so a decisive economic advantage for Zest, but unfortunately Zest now on the defensive as Taeja moves out across the map. Not a lot in the way of units. We have a few Vikings and a few stimmed up Marines and Marauders, though these medevacs will make them quite cost effective. Stalkers do not trade well against Marauders at all, but Taeja, not enough units yet to push up the ramp. Another Colossi almost out. These Vikings here to do the job on the Colossus. Need to keep it away, but these Stalkers going to be able to push those Vikings back very efficiently. Few Zealots trying to push these forces back. Colossi firing from the safety of those Stalkers. Going to do a lot of damage here. Vikings trying to do some damage, but too many Stalkers on the ground will bring those down. No blink as of yet, so unfortunately for Zest, unable to pick off that other Viking. We have SCVs being pulled from Taeja. Not all the SCVs, mind you, but a decent amount here as they use these SCVs to buffer just a bit of this Colossi damage. The first shot will go on these SCVs. Will it be enough? No, Zest actually focus firing with the Colossi, ignoring the SCVs. Going to be focusing down the Marauders. Very tight play from Zest here as he battles to hold on. The first Colossi goes down, but the second one out just in time. Looks like Zest may be able to hold on by the skin of his teeth. Medevacs and Marines falling back here as Taeja unable to break Zest once more. We check out the units lost tab. It's absolutely ridiculous at this point. Zest 7600 to Taeja 6400. Taeja somehow being cost efficient in spite of repeatedly engaging those Colossi. See more Colossi on the production tab. Not a lot in the way of straight up units from either of these players. Taeja just continuing to produce Vikings and Marauders, needing to break Zest now. 2 base Terran to 2 base Protoss, and the big SCV pull here from Taeja as he pulls all the SCVs out of his main base. It's now or never as the income showing massively in Zest's favour at this point in the game. 2 Colossi on the field, no more to follow these up just yet. Zest unfortunately supply blocked at this crucial time. Only 2 Colossi on the field, able to warp in a few more Zealots, but the +1 armour upgrade only just coming now at the 15-minute mark. Just a little bit crazy as the 1-1 bio of Taeja's just put on so much pressure early on in this game. Dark Shrine is on the way now, but Taeja will not be giving Zest time to use that. SCV's barreling in here. We have just enough Vikings. We have 4 Vikings here. Will it be enough to keep these Colossus out of play? The Colossus way up on the high ground. Looks like Taeja's just going to try and gun down this this Nexus here. SCV's tanking his Marine and Marauder army. Barrels through the Nexus. Long range mining for those probes. These Colossi trying to get as much damage in as they can. The Vikings doing damage. Second one will fall as stimmed up by it. Looks like it might just be enough to break Zest here as these SCVs go to town on the Zealots, dying by the droves, but burying the valiant Zealots at the same time. What a photo finish for these two players. Both of them down to 50 supply as they desperately try to string things together. Unfortunately for Zest, Taeja just managing to edge him out. If Taeja hadn't broke Zest there, things would have gotten quite ugly quite quickly. As you can see, no mining going on for Taeja at this point in the game. It was the last ditch effort, but that's why we love Team Taeja. Knows how to pull those SCVs and make it happen. So GG, well played to both our players. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed casting. We've got plenty more StarCraft coming up after this, guys, so don't go anywhere. This is Aussie StarCraft, and I'll catch you in the next cast.